Ethan, get down here! My mother's sharp voice cut through the house before the sun had even finished rising. I dropped the rag I was using to polish my shoes. Coming, Mom, I muttered, even though I knew she didn't want me to call her that. By the time I reached the kitchen, she was already glaring. The dishes from last night are still in the sink. What were you doing all morning? Sleeping like a useless fool? I was cleaning the porch, I said quietly. You talk back now? She pointed at the stack of plates. Do them again. And this time scrub until I see my face in them. Yes. My voice cracked, but she didn't notice. Behind me, I heard footsteps. Liam walked in, yawning. He was still in his pajamas, rubbing his eyes. Morning, Mom, he said, dropping into a chair. What's for breakfast? I turned, waiting for orders. Ethan, my mother said. Cook your brother some eggs. And don't burn them like last time. Yes, Liam smirked. Make it fast, servant. I'm starving. I clenched my fists under the counter. I'm not a servant, I whispered. What was that? He asked, grinning. Nothing, Sophia's voice floated in from the hallway. Did I hear breakfast? Make me some pancakes too, Ethan. And don't forget the syrup. She entered, perfectly dressed already, scrolling on her phone like she had nothing better to do. Why don't you make them yourself? I asked too softly for her to hear. Sophia sat beside Liam. Why would I? That's what you're here for. Isn't that right, Mom? My mother gave a sharp nod. Exactly. He should be grateful he has a roof over his head. Stop complaining, Ethan. Serve your family. The words dug into me like knives. Serve your family. That's all I was ever told. As I cooked, Liam leaned back in his chair. Hey, remember when he dropped the tray at Dad's party? Sophia burst out laughing. Yes! Everyone was staring at him like he was some clumsy waiter. I focused on the eggs, my hands trembling. Don't burn those, Liam warned. You know Mom will kill you if you mess up again. I know. Sophia's laughter quieted for a moment. Sometimes I wonder why Dad even keeps him here. He's nothing like us, because he's cheap labor, Liam said. Why hire a maid when you have Ethan? I gritted my teeth. You think I like this? Liam raised an eyebrow. Who cares what you like? My mother slammed a spoon on the counter. Enough! Ethan, serve the food. I placed the plates in front of them. They didn't even say thank you. They dug in, talking about their plans for the day, shopping, friends, parties. None of those words belonged to me. When I finally sat in the corner with a piece of toast, Sophia wrinkled her nose. You're eating that? No wonder you're so thin. Pathetic? Don't speak with your mouth full, I muttered. She gasped. Did you hear him? He thinks he can talk back now. Want me to shut him up? Liam asked, half joking. Try it, I said under my breath, but he heard. He shoved his chair back, standing. What did you say? His face was inches from mine. Nothing. I looked away. Coward, he spat. My mother clapped her hands. Both of you stop it. Liam, leave him. Ethan, clean this place when we're done. And don't you dare sit until everything shines. Yes, I whispered. They left soon after, their laughter echoing down the hall. When the house finally fell silent, I dropped into a chair. My chest ached. I stared at the dirty plates and wondered if this was all my life would ever be. The door creaked open behind me. Ethan? A gentle voice called. I turned. Clara stood in the doorway holding a small basket. Her brown eyes softened when she saw me. What are you doing here? I asked. She stepped inside. I brought you some bread from my aunt's bakery. You look like you haven't eaten a proper meal in days. I managed a weak smile. You shouldn't be here. If they see you, they'll let them, she interrupted. She set the basket on the table. You don't deserve how they treat you. You're not their servant, I laughed bitterly. Tell them that. They'll say I should be grateful, that I'd be nothing without them. Her eyes burned. They're wrong. You're worth more than all of them combined. The words struck me harder than any insult Liam ever threw. You really believe that? I always have. She reached across the table, placing her hand over mine. One day you'll see it too. I swallowed the lump in my throat. I wish I could believe you. Then hold on to my words until you do. Her voice carried more warmth than the entire house ever had. For a moment, the walls didn't feel like a prison. For a moment, I almost felt human. But as footsteps echoed upstairs, I pulled my hand away. You should go. She hesitated, then nodded. Promise me you won't give up, Ethan. I forced a smile. I'll try. When she left, the house grew cold again. I picked up the plates and returned to work, my mother's words still stabbing inside my chest. Serve your family. Be grateful. Stay silent. I looked at my reflection in the soapy water and whispered to myself, is this all I am? A servant? No one answered. The black suit they gave me was 2 sizes too big. I tugged at the sleeves, but no one noticed. Ethan, my mother said sharply, stop fidgeting. Go greet the guests as they arrive. Make yourself useful, I swallowed. Aren't I supposed to sit with family? Her eyes cut through me. Family? You'll stand at the door. Do as you're told. Yes, Sophia brushed past, adjusting her silk dress. Don't embarrass us, Ethan. Try not to spill drinks this time. Liam smirked, his tie hanging loose. Better yet, keep your mouth shut. Nobody wants to hear you pretending you cared about Dad. I did care, I said quietly. Then why didn't he ever care about you? Liam shot back, already walking away. I froze at his words, then forced myself to the door. Guests poured in, businessmen, old friends, faces I'd never seen. I bowed, muttering polite greetings while they looked past me. To them, I was a servant in an ill-fitting suit. An old woman whispered to another, "Is he one of the workers?" I pretended not to hear. Inside the hall, everything gleamed, black curtains, golden frames, roses arranged in perfect circles. At the center rested the coffin. Father lay still, his face pale, almost peaceful. My chest felt hollow. Clara's soft voice broke through. "Ethan," I turned. She wore a simple black dress, her eyes filled with sorrow, not just for Father, but for me. "Clara," I whispered. "You shouldn't have come. My family will—" "I don't care," she interrupted. "You deserve someone here for you." Her words almost cracked something inside me. "Ethan!" My mother's voice barked across the room. "Stop loitering. Serve refreshments," I clenched my fists. "Yes, Mother." Clara touched my sleeve. "You don't have to—" "I do," I said. "You don't know what they'll do if I don't." I carried trays of drinks, weaving through mourners. Some nodded politely. Others ignored me. Liam leaned against the wall, smirking as I nearly spilled a glass. "Careful, servant boy," he hissed. "Wouldn't want to disgrace Dad one last time." Sophia joined him, her voice dripping with mockery. "Maybe Dad left you that old suit. It fits you perfectly, like a hand-me-down." I said nothing, moving past them. During the eulogies, I stood at the back. One after another, people praised Father. His business skills, his generosity, his strength. Generosity? Strength? I wanted to laugh. Clara whispered beside me, "Why aren't you sitting with them?" "Because I don't belong there," I muttered. "Yes, you do." "No." My voice was sharp, then softened. "He never stood up for me, Clara, not once. Why cry for a man who let me suffer?" Her eyes searched mine. "Maybe he had reasons you don't know." "Reasons don't erase years," I said bitterly. "The priest asked us to bow our heads in prayer." I lowered mine, though my thoughts screamed louder than my silence. When it ended, my mother approached me, her face stone. "Don't even think of speaking today. You'll shame us if you open your mouth." I bit my tongue. Liam clapped me on the back. "Cheer up, brother." "At least you're good for carrying trays," Sophia added. "Yes, imagine the gossip if people knew the truth. You, the invisible son." Clara stepped between us, her voice steady. "Leave him alone." "This is a funeral," Liam smirked. "Stay out of family business, Clara." She didn't move. Maybe I care more about him than his own family ever did. My heart pounded at her words. For once, someone spoke for me, but Mother's voice cut through the tension. "Ethan, clean the hall when everyone leaves. Don't disappear until it's spotless." "Yes," I whispered. As guests departed, I watched their backs vanish into the night. I was left with empty trays, fading flowers, and the coffin of a man who never called me son. Clara lingered. "Do you feel anything?" she asked softly. I stared at Father's face one last time. "Nothing," I said. Then, after a pause, maybe emptiness, maybe anger, but not grief. She reached for my hand. "Then feel whatever you need to. Just don't let them take your soul." I nodded faintly, though I wasn't sure I had much of a soul left. The air inside Uncle David's study felt heavy. The curtains were drawn, and a long oak table separated us from the lawyer. Attorney Miller opened a folder, his glasses sliding down his nose. Thank you all for gathering. As you know, this is the official reading of Richard Cole's last will and testament. Liam leaned back in his chair, smirking. We know how this goes. Just skip to the part where I get the mansion. Sophia twirled a strand of hair. And don't forget my share of the accounts. I already have plans. I stayed quiet at the far end, hands folded, my stomach knotted. Mother's voice was sharp. Proceed, Mr. Miller, we don't have all day. Miller cleared his throat. Richard Cole, being of sound mind, makes the following bequests. Liam interrupted, grinning. Sound mind? He must have been sound enough to know I'm his firstborn. Sophia laughed. And I'm the favorite daughter. Poor Ethan, he'll probably get an old watch if that. Their laughter echoed. My face burned, but I didn't speak. Uncle David raised a hand. Let him finish. Show some respect. Miller adjusted his papers. To Liam Cole, I leave my watch collection. Liam blinked. What? That's it? Watches? Sophia stifled a laugh. Well, at least you'll always know the time. Shut up, he snapped. Miller continued. To Sophia Cole, I leave my art collection and antiques. Sophia gasped in delight. Finally, something worthy of me. I exhaled, bracing myself for humiliation. And to Ethan Cole. Miller paused, scanning the room. I leave the remainder of my estate totaling $93 million. The room froze. What? Sophia's voice cracked. Liam shot to his feet. That's a lie. Read it again. Mother's face drained of color. You must be mistaken, but Miller repeated it calmly. Richard Cole leaves $93 million to Ethan Cole. All eyes turned to me. My chest pounded so loudly I thought they could hear it. Sophia whispered, You? That can't be right. Liam slammed his fist on the table. He's the servant boy. Dad hated him! Mother finally found her voice trembling with rage. How could Richard do this? That money belongs to this family, not him. Uncle David leaned forward. Ethan is his family. No, she snapped. Not in the same way. I swallowed hard, my throat dry. I don't understand. Miller nodded solemnly. Mr. Cole was clear. Ethan inherits the bulk of his fortune. These documents are legally binding. Sophia's eyes narrowed at me. What did you do? Did you trick him before he died? I didn't do anything, I said quickly. I didn't even know. Liar! Liam shouted. You manipulated him. Admit it. Uncle David stood. Enough. Your father made his choice. Mother's hands trembled on the table. He was confused, sick. This can't stand. It will stand, Miller replied firmly. The will was signed and witnessed properly. Silence followed, broken only by my own heartbeat. Sophia finally hissed, You don't deserve a cent. Liam jabbed a finger at me. Give it to us. That money belongs to us. I shook my head, voice barely audible. It was his choice, not mine. Mother's eyes locked on me, full of venom. Richard must have lost his mind. To give you everything after we raised you, after all we gave you. All you gave me? The words slipped out before I could stop them. You gave me chores. You gave me orders. You gave me nothing. Her mouth opened, but no sound came. Clara, sitting quietly behind me, finally spoke. Maybe Mr. Cole saw what none of you ever did, Liam snarled. Stay out of this. You're not part of our family. She lifted her chin. Neither are you if you treat him this way. Uncle David nodded slowly. Your father admired Ethan's strength. He told me once that the boy had endured more than anyone should. Mother slammed her fist on the table. Stop romanticizing him. He's nothing. He was always nothing. I stood shakily. If I'm nothing, then why did he leave me everything? The question hung in the air like thunder. Sophia's eyes filled with tears, not of grief, but rage. I won't let you enjoy this. You'll regret it. Liam grabbed my collar, shoving me back. Give me the money, or I swear... Uncle David pulled him off. Touch him again, and you'll deal with me. Miller snapped his folder shut. The reading is finished. The inheritance is Ethan's. That is final. The room erupted with shouting, Liam cursing, Sophia sobbing, Mother muttering about betrayal. I stood frozen in the storm. Every sound muffled except the pounding in my ears. 93 million, me, the forgotten son. Clara touched my arm gently. Ethan, are you all right? I shook my head. I don't know. Mother's voice cut sharp through the noise. Mark my words, boy, you won't keep this. Not while I live. Her threat lingered even as the lawyer gathered his things and Uncle David tried to calm them. I felt my knees weaken. The room blurred. Inside me was no joy, no triumph, only disbelief. I whispered to myself, unheard by the others, "Why me? Why now?" The answer never came. "Thief!" Liam's roar echoed off the walls as soon as the lawyer's car left the driveway. "I didn't steal anything," I said, my hands trembling at my sides. "You tricked him." Sophia jabbed her finger into my chest. "Father would never choose you over us." Mother's face was stone, her lips quivering before her hand cracked across my cheek. The sting burned. "You conniving little rat," she hissed. "What did you whisper into his ear before he died? Did you poison him against us?" I staggered back, holding my face. "I never asked for this. I didn't even know." "Liar!" Liam shoved me hard. "You knew exactly what you were doing. You played victim, washing dishes, carrying bags, waiting for this moment. Pathetic." "I worked because none of you ever lifted a finger," I snapped, my voice breaking. "I didn't want money, I just wanted respect." "Respect?" Sophia laughed sharply. "You think respect makes you heir to 93 million? You don't deserve a cent." Uncle David raised his hands. "Enough, Richard's will was clear. Ethan didn't forge it, and you all know your father's signature." "Stay out of this, David," Mother spat, glaring. "You always coddled him. This isn't about law, it's about blood. Ethan isn't worthy of Richard's name." My chest tightened. "I'm still his son." "Barely," she shot back. The room buzzed with rage. Liam's fists clenched, his body shaking. "Give it back," he growled. "Sign it over. Or you swear what?" I forced myself to meet his eyes. My legs felt weak, but something inside me refused to bow anymore. He stepped closer, nose inches from mine. "You don't want to find out," Sophia sneered. "Imagine the headlines, the servant son stealing from his grieving family. Do you think society will welcome you? You'll be a pariah." "I didn't choose this," I said again, softer this time. "But I won't give it back." Mother's voice cracked like a whip. "Ungrateful boy. We fed you, clothed you, you enslaved me." I cut her off, my voice louder than I expected. The words hung in the air, sharp and undeniable. "Don't pretend it was love." Her face twisted, and for the first time she had no reply. Uncle David exhaled. "The decision is made." Richard wanted Ethan to have it. "You can rage all night, but it won't change the truth." "Truth?" Sophia scoffed. "The truth is money blinds men. Father must have been senile." "You watch your tongue," Uncle David warned. "Your father knew exactly what he was doing, but they weren't listening. Their eyes locked on me like predators circling prey." Liam muttered, "I'll never let this stand." "Neither will I," Sophia whispered almost sweetly, which chilled me more than her shouting. Mother finally turned her back to me. "You disgust me. Get out of my sight before I do something I regret." I wanted to yell, to cry, to slam my fists against the walls, but I swallowed everything down. "Fine," I said, voice low. "But whether you accept it or not, this is mine now." Liam lunged, but Uncle David blocked him. "Enough, Liam," his voice thundered. "Touch him and you'll regret it." "Regret?" Liam snarled. "He's the regret." The house buzzed with angry mutters as I retreated upstairs. My legs shook, my cheek throbbed, and yet, for the first time in my life, they couldn't order me to serve tea, polish shoes, or clean the floor. When night fell, silence crept into the halls, but whispers slipped through the thin walls. "He doesn't deserve it. We'll make him pay. He won't keep it long." My stomach knotted. Every sound made me flinch. Every creak of the floorboards sounded like footsteps sneaking toward me. I sat by the window, staring out into the dark. Fear pulsed in my chest, sharper than I'd ever felt before. But beneath that fear was something else, something burning. Power. For once, I wasn't the forgotten servant. For once, they couldn't ignore me. They hated me, but their hatred only proved the truth. I finally had something they couldn't take without destroying themselves. As I listened to their whispered threats, my hand tightened into a fist. They wanted war, and I wasn't going to surrender. I sat alone in the study, the silence pressing on me like heavy walls. Uncle David entered quietly, carrying a worn leather folder. "Ethan," he said softly, "we need to talk." I sighed. "If it's about the will, I've heard enough shouting for a lifetime." He shook his head. "This isn't about money. It's about your father." I stiffened. "What about him?" "That he despised me? That he let them treat me like a servant?" David's eyes were steady. "That's not the whole story." I laughed bitterly. Come on, Uncle, I lived it. He never defended me once. He placed the folder on the desk. Read these. I hesitated before sliding out the first envelope. The handwriting was unmistakable. Father's. My hands shook as I unfolded the letter. To Ethan, I know I have failed you. I watched you carry burdens no boy should carry, and I stayed silent. I told myself strength was forged in hardship, but in truth, I was afraid. Afraid you'd hate me if I admitted my weakness as a father. Forgive me. The words blurred as my throat tightened. I whispered, He wrote this? David nodded. There are more. He wrote them over the years but never sent them. He gave them to me with instructions. That if anything happened, you should know the truth. Anger bubbled up. The truth? That he sat back while I suffered? That he felt sorry only when it was too late? Read on, David urged. I unfolded another letter. Ethan, I see you. You scrub floors, you serve meals, yet you never complain. You're stronger than Liam, stronger than Sophia, stronger than me. I am proud, though I never said it. The inheritance is not money. It is my apology, my recognition that you endured what others could not. I dropped the letter, my voice cracking. Why now? Why in death, not in life? Why couldn't he look me in the eyes and just say it? David sighed heavily. Your father carried guilt. He thought leaving you the fortune would make things right. Make things right? I slammed my fist against the desk. Money can't erase the nights I cried alone. It can't erase the years I begged for one word of approval. He owed me love, not letters hidden in a drawer. The room shook with my voice. My chest heaved. David's hand rested gently on my shoulder. I know, but he admired you more than you realize. He believed you could bear the weight no one else could. Tears burned my eyes. Admired me. He broke me. Or maybe, David said softly, he shaped you. Painful as it was, I covered my face, choking back sobs. The letters stared at me from the desk, ghosts of words too late to heal. The door creaked. Clara stepped in, her voice hesitant. Ethan? I quickly wiped my eyes. It's nothing, just letters. She glanced at David, then back at me. Your father's letters? I nodded stiffly. Clara moved closer. What do they say? That he was sorry, I muttered. That he admired me. That he left me the money to make up for it. Her eyes softened. And that makes you angry. Of course I'm angry. My voice cracked. Where was this apology when I was 12, scrubbing the kitchen while Liam laughed at me? Where was this admiration when Sophia mocked me in front of her friends? Where was he when Mother slapped me for breathing too loud? He could have spoken then, but he waited until he was in a coffin. Clara didn't flinch. She just let my words hang heavy in the air. Finally, she said, Maybe it's not about when he said it. Maybe it's about what you do with it now, I frowned. What do you mean? She touched the letters gently. You've lived your whole life in chains, Ethan. Chains of neglect, of silence, of feeling unworthy. This inheritance, these words, they're not chains. They're keys. You can either keep hating him, or you can let his failure free you. Her words cut through the storm in my chest. Free me? I whispered. Yes, she said firmly. Your father didn't save you while alive, but maybe in dying, he gave you the chance to save yourself. I stared at her, the letters trembling in my hands. David added quietly, He didn't know how to love, Ethan, but he knew how to regret. Don't waste your life drowning in the same regret. Silence filled the study. My anger still burned, but beneath it something shifted. I whispered to the letters, Why now, Father? Why not when I needed you? No answer came. Only the soft rustle of paper and the weight of memories pressing down. Clara's hand slipped into mine. Don't let this destroy you. Use it. I nodded slowly, though the ache inside remained. Maybe I can. But it still hurts. It will, she said gently. But pain doesn't have to chain you. It can push you forward. I closed my eyes, clutching the letters against my chest. For the first time, I didn't feel like a servant carrying someone else's weight. I felt like a man standing at the edge of something new, broken, angry, but unshackled. Liam stormed into the living room, throwing his phone onto the couch. Damn it, they cut me off! I looked up from the letters still resting on my lap. Who cut you off this time? He spun on me, eyes red. The bank. My card's frozen. They said I've defaulted on payments. I leaned back. Maybe that's what happens when you spend money you don't have, he sneered. Shut up, you don't understand. I had deals lined up, big ones. Now everyone's pulling out because of you. Because of me? I raised a brow. Yes, you stole everything. You're walking around like some millionaire while I'm drowning. I sighed. I didn't steal. Father made his choice. If you're drowning, it's because you built a boat out of lies. His fist clenched, but before he could spit more venom, Sophia's shrill voice cut in from the hall. Liam, they're all gone. Every single one of them. She stumbled into the room, her mascara streaking down her cheeks. What happened now? I asked flatly. My friends? She gasped. They laughed at me when I couldn't pay for dinner. They said I'm nothing without money. They left me sitting there, like trash. Liam barked a humorless laugh. Welcome to reality, sister. She whirled on me instead. This is your fault, too. If you hadn't taken the inheritance, I wouldn't be humiliated. I met her glare. Or maybe if you'd built friendships on more than shopping bags and champagne bottles, you'd have real people left. Her lips trembled. You think you're better than us now? No, I said quietly. I just know what it's like to be alone. You're only learning it now. Sophia's sobs filled the room. Liam cursed under his breath. For once, their fury wasn't burning at each other. It was all directed at me. The front door slammed open. Mother entered, her heels clicking, her face pale. Ethan, she said, her voice cold. We need to talk. I didn't rise. About what? She walked closer, her hands shaking. I went to the Harrisons. I begged them to lend us something. They laughed in my face. Do you hear me? They laughed at me. Why? I asked. Her eyes burned. Because of you. Because they think we're weak now. No, I said firmly. They laughed because you used them for years. They owed you nothing. Her hand shot out and slapped the table. Don't you dare lecture me. I built this family's reputation while you scrubbed floors. Everything you have now came from my sacrifices. I stood slowly, meeting her glare. Your sacrifices? Or my servitude? I was the one carrying this house while you pretended we were royalty. Her jaw tightened. You ungrateful boy, Liam cut in, voice trembling. Mom, what do we do? My creditors are calling nonstop. If they don't get paid, they'll come after me. Mother's eyes darted nervously. We'll figure it out. Sophia screamed suddenly, throwing her phone to the ground. They blocked me. Everyone's blocked me. I'm invisible. Her wail echoed through the room like a curse. I whispered, This is what happens when the masks fall. Mother snapped toward me. Don't you dare stand there smug. You think you've won, don't you? I shook my head. This isn't winning. It's karma. I didn't lift a finger, yet everything is collapsing. Maybe that should tell you something. David's voice came from the doorway. He's right. We turned to see him step inside, calm but firm. Richard saw this coming. That's why he left everything to Ethan. He knew the rest of you couldn't handle it, Liam shouted. Shut up, old man. You're just taking his side because you hate us. David didn't even blink. No, Liam, I'm telling you the truth. This family was built on pride and lies. It was bound to crack. Mother's chest heaved, fury spilling out. You think we'll just bow to Ethan? Never. I met her eyes steady now. I'm not asking you to bow. I'm telling you I won't anymore. The silence after those words was heavier than any shouting. Sophia whispered, So you'll just watch us suffer? I swallowed hard. I never wanted you to suffer. I wanted to belong. But you made me your servant. Now when life finally turns, you call me cruel. Maybe you should ask yourselves why everything is falling apart. No one answered. Only the ticking clock spoke, slow and cold. That night, I lay awake in my room, their voices drifting through the walls. Liam whispering about debt collectors, Sophia sobbing into her pillow. Mother cursing names of people who refused her calls. And me? I felt something strange, both sorrow and satisfaction. Sorrow because I never wanted a war. Satisfaction because I finally understood. I didn't have to fight them. Life was doing it for me. For the first time in years, I closed my eyes without fear of mourning orders. I was no longer their servant. I was something more. Mother cornered me in the hallway, her breath sharp, her eyes burning like knives. You owe me everything, she hissed. Don't you dare forget who gave you life. I stood still, my pulse pounding. Life or chains? Her hand shot out, grabbing my collar. Ungrateful boy. Without me, you'd be nothing. I forced her grip off. Without you, maybe I'd have been free. Her shriek echoed through the house. How dare you speak to me like this? After all I've done. All you've done? My voice trembled with years of swallowed rage. All you did was strip me of dignity and call it parenting. Shut up. She screamed, raising her hand as if to strike, but before it fell, Liam barreled in. Don't just yell at him, let me handle this. He lunged, fists clenched. Liam, stop! Clara's voice cut like a bell. She rushed between us, arms out. Get out of the way! Liam roared, shoving at her shoulder. Uncle David's voice thundered from behind. Enough! He caught Liam's arm mid-swing. You will not lay a finger on him. Liam twisted, veins bulging. He stole everything from us. David's grip tightened. Your father made the choice, not him. You're just too blind to see it. Blind? Liam spat. I see clearly. He's a thief hiding behind a dead man's will. Then explain your debts, I shot back. Explain the lies you fed everyone while you drowned in credit. That wasn't me, Liam, that was you. His face went red. He tried to tear free, but David shoved him back hard. Sophia suddenly appeared, her voice breaking. Stop, all of you! She dropped to her knees in front of me, tears streaming down her cheeks. Ethan, please. Please give me something. I'll change. I'll be better. Just help me once. I stared at her, the girl who had mocked me for years, now on the floor. You laughed when I begged for help, I whispered. You called me worthless. Do you remember? Her sobs shook her whole body. I didn't mean it. I was stupid. But I'm your sister. Please don't turn your back. Clara stepped closer, laying a hand on my arm. Ethan, you don't have to. But I raised my hand, silencing her. My chest burned, Mother snarled. Don't you dare deny your sister. Don't you dare deny me. You carry our blood. That fortune belongs to us. My voice rose, trembling but strong. Blood? You used blood as a leash, not a bond. Sophia clutched at my leg, sobbing harder. I'll change, I swear. Just give me a chance. I bent down, pulling her hands gently away. You want money to buy forgiveness, but forgiveness isn't for sale. Her cry ripped through me like glass. Liam snarled from the corner, still restrained by David. You think you're some hero now? You're nothing. You'll always be nothing. I looked at him, then at Mother, then at Sophia on the floor. The room shook with their hatred, their desperation. My whole life I'd cowered. My whole life I'd swallowed words. But not anymore, my voice thundered. I was never your son. I was your servant. And now I will never be your servant again. The silence that followed was like an earthquake. Even Liam froze, his mouth hanging open. Mother's face drained of color. You dare say that to me? I do, I said firmly. Because it's the truth. You raised Liam and Sophia as children. You raised me as a slave. And you thought I'd stay silent forever. But silence is over. David's eyes glistened with quiet pride. Clara's hand tightened on my arm. Sophia whispered through tears. Then we've lost you? I swallowed hard, my chest aching. You never had me to begin with. She collapsed forward, weeping into the carpet. Mother staggered back, shaking her head. No, this can't be happening. You're supposed to obey. You're supposed to honor me. I honored you for years, I said coldly. And all I got was pain. Now I honor myself. Liam finally tore from David's grip, but instead of charging, he backed toward the wall. His eyes darted wildly, panic mixing with fury. You'll regret this, he muttered. We'll make you regret it. Maybe, I said. But at least I'll regret it as a free man. Mother's mouth opened, but no words came. She just stared at me, trembling, as if the walls she built her whole life had finally cracked. Clara whispered into the silence. It's over. He's not yours to command anymore. Mother glared at her. You think you can take him away? You think you matter? Clara held her ground. I don't have to take him away. He chose himself. That's something you never let him do. David's voice rumbled low. Richard saw this day coming. He knew Ethan would rise while the rest of you crumbled. That was his judgment, and now it's done. Mother's knees buckled. She sank into a chair, whispering, No, I can't lose. You already did, I said. Sophia's sobs filled the air. Liam punched the wall and stormed out, footsteps echoing down the hall. Mother sat frozen, pale and shaking. I turned, my chest still heaving, but my steps steady. For the first time, I felt the ground beneath me belonged to me. At the doorway, I stopped and looked back. You'll never control me again. Their faces, broken, stunned, furious, burned into my memory. When I stepped into the night, Clara followed, her voice soft. Are you okay? I exhaled, the weight lifting slowly. No, but I'm free. She slipped her hand into mine. Then let's start there. I looked up at the sky, the darkness wide and endless. For the first time, I wasn't afraid of it. Boxes lined the front hall of the mansion, and my heart raced with each one I carried out. Mother stood near the staircase, arms crossed. So you're really leaving? Yes, I said. This house was never mine. You're making a mistake, she hissed. Without us, you're nothing. I didn't even glance at her. That's what you want me to believe. Not anymore. Clara stepped beside me, touching my shoulder. Ethan, the truck's ready. We can go, Mother sneered. Of course she's with you. She's always been against this family. Clara's voice cut sharp. No, I'm with him because he finally chose himself. I lifted the last box, my chest tightening. Goodbye. I didn't wait for an answer. The door shut behind me, and for the first time I felt air that belonged to me. The small house I bought wasn't grand, but it was mine. The walls were bare, the floors creaked, but freedom hummed in every corner. Clara looked around with a smile. It's perfect. You finally have space that's yours. I set a box on the counter. It's small, she shook her head. It's honest. That's more than anything you left behind. I laughed softly. Yeah, honest feels good. Later, Uncle David stopped by. He carried no judgment in his eyes, only pride. You did it, he said, stepping inside. I nodded. Feels strange. Empty but good. He sat at the small kitchen table. Ethan, this is the start. Wealth isn't about comfort. It's about choice. You've chosen freedom. I leaned against the counter. And you? You believe I can handle this? His voice was steady. I always did. Richard saw it too. That's why he trusted you, not them. My throat tightened. Sometimes I wonder if he really knew me. David's hand pressed my shoulder. He knew enough. Now it's your turn to prove him right, I whispered. I won't waste it. That evening, Mr. Jennings arrived. The old steward bowed his head as he entered. Ethan, he said quietly, I just wanted to see you once here. In your own place, I smiled. It's not much. His eyes softened. It's everything. Do you know why? Because it's yours, I swallowed hard. You never doubted me, did you? Not once, he said firmly. I watched you carry burdens no boy should. And still you endured. I always believed this day would come. I blinked fast, my voice shaking. Thank you. For never saying it out loud, because if you had, I wouldn't have believed you. He smiled faintly. Now you can. I gripped his hand. I won't forget what you gave me. Faith, when no one else had any. He bowed again and left, leaving the quiet house somehow brighter. That night, Clara curled beside me on the couch. The silence wrapped around us like a blanket. She whispered, Do you regret leaving them? I stared at the ceiling. No, I regret staying as long as I did. Her hand found mine. Then tonight's a beginning. I closed my eyes, breathing deep. The money gave me this house. But the house isn't the victory. She tilted her head. Then what is? I turned to her. Being seen. For the first time, I'm not invisible. Not to you, not to David, not even to myself. Her smile was soft. You've always been worth everything. They just refused to see it. A lump rose in my throat. My parents raised me like nothing. But standing here now, I know I'm not nothing. You never were, she whispered. I squeezed her hand tighter. I finally believe it. The house creaked as if agreeing. Freedom didn't roar, it whispered. And in that whisper, I finally heard myself. The knock on the door was weak, almost apologetic. Clara glanced at me, her brow furrowed. Are you expecting anyone? She asked. No, I said, rising. My chest tightened as I turned the knob. Mother stood there. But she wasn't the towering figure I remembered. Her shoulders sagged, her skin pale, her eyes red-rimmed. Ethan, she whispered. I froze. What do you want? She stepped inside, uninvited but trembling. Please! I had nowhere else to go. Clara stayed silent, hovering near the couch. I shut the door slowly. Why are you here? Her voice cracked. Because I've lost everything. Liam, he's in jail. Fraud charges, Sophia! She cleans houses now. No friends left, no money. Just shame, I swallowed hard. That's not my problem. Tears slid down her cheeks. I know, but I came to say, I'm sorry. The words hit me like glass shattering. Sorry? I repeated. After years of treating me like dirt, suddenly you're sorry? She wrung her hands. I was blind. I thought favoring them would protect the family name. I thought pushing you down would make them stronger. I laughed bitterly. No, you just didn't care. Her voice rose, desperate. I did, in my own way. Don't, I snapped. You fed them dreams and fed me scraps. You let me believe I was worthless. Clara's hand touched my arm. I was shaking, Mother's knees buckled, and she sank into a chair. I don't ask for much, just a chance to see you, to know you don't hate me. I stared at her hollow frame, the once proud woman reduced to a ghost. My chest ached, but the anger burned hotter. You never treated me like a son, I whispered. Don't expect me to treat you like a mother. Her lips parted, but no sound came. Silence filled the room. Clara's fingers tightened around mine. Mother bowed her head. Then I have nothing. I turned away, walking toward the hallway. You had everything once. You wasted it, she sobbed quietly. Ethan, please, I didn't stop. Leave. Her footsteps dragged across the floor. The door clicked shut behind her. The house felt heavier and lighter all at once. Later, Clara sat with me on the porch. The evening air cooled my burning skin. You okay? She asked softly. I exhaled. No, but I will be. She leaned against me. She wanted forgiveness. I shook my head. She wanted absolution. Forgiveness means change. She just wanted relief. Clara's eyes searched mine. And you? I hesitated. I wanted her to fight for me once. Just once, but she never did. Now it's too late. Clara's hand found mine again. Then don't let her define you anymore. You've already chosen who you are. I let the words sink in. Yeah, I've chosen. The next day, Uncle David stopped by. He looked at me carefully. I heard she came to see you. She did, I said flatly. And? She begged. I walked away. He nodded slowly. You're stronger than me. I don't know if I could have done it. I frowned. Was I cruel? David's eyes were firm. No, cruelty is what you endured. Boundaries are survival. She made her bed. You just refuse to lie in it anymore. I sat back. Still feels like a weight. He smiled faintly. Weights make you stronger, Ethan. And sometimes setting one down is the bravest act. A week later, Sophia found me outside a cafe. Her face was drawn, her clothes simple, her eyes hollow. Ethan, she said, voice barely above a whisper. I stiffened. What do you want? Nothing, she said quickly. I wanted to say I was wrong. I studied her carefully. Wrong about what? The money? The insults? The years of pretending I didn't exist? Her lips trembled. All of it. I let greed rot me. I lost friends, status, everything. And now I see it was empty. I sighed. You saw it too late, she nodded. I know, I don't expect your forgiveness. I just wanted you to hear me say it. I stared at her, searching for lies. But there was only defeat. Then live differently, I said quietly. Words won't change anything. Tears welled in her eyes. I'll try. She walked away without another word. That night, lying beside Clara, I whispered into the dark. They're all broken now. Clara turned toward me. And you? I'm not broken. I bent, I bled, but I didn't break. She smiled softly. That's why you're free. I pulled her close, my chest finally loosening. Months passed and life steadied. My house felt warmer, my days fuller. I met with David often, learned more about investments, about choices. Clara and I built plans for a future neither of us thought possible before. But sometimes late at night I thought of her, my mother, alone somewhere, carrying regret like chains. Did I pity her? Yes, did I miss her? No. I understood something then. Closure doesn't come from fixing the past. It comes from accepting it. One evening, Clara caught me staring out the window. What are you thinking? She asked. I smiled faintly. That I've chosen my future. She tilted her head. And what does it look like? I took her hand, squeezing it. It looks like this. Not money, not revenge. Just freedom. Just us. Her eyes softened. Then it's already yours. And for the first time in my life, I believed it. The wind cut across the cemetery as I stood before Father's grave. The marble was polished, cold, perfect, just like the man himself. Clara's hand slid into mine. You sure you want to do this? Yes, I whispered. I need to. Uncle David stepped back, giving me space. I stared at the carved name. Father, I said quietly, you left me $93 million. But you never left me, love. The silence pressed in. I felt Clara's eyes on me. You don't owe him words, she said softly. I know, I replied, but I owe myself. I knelt, brushing the dirt from the stone. You broke me 1,000 times, called me servant, shadow, nothing. And yet, I lived. I endured. I became more than you ever imagined. My throat tightened, but the words kept coming. I hated you. I still do sometimes, but I also pity you because you never saw me until it was too late. Clara knelt beside me. Then say what you really feel, I exhaled. I forgive you, not for you, but for me. Because I won't carry you anymore. Your chains are gone. Uncle David's voice was steady behind me. That's strength, Ethan. That's freedom. I stood, shoulders lighter than ever. Clara smiled faintly. So, how do you feel? I looked at the sky. I feel alive. Not because of money. Not because of revenge. But because I proved them wrong. Because I survived. The wind shifted, brushing across my face like a final farewell. For the first time in my life, I whispered, I am free. And I meant every word.